Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Successful Women's TV show. My name is Galit Ventura Rosen, and I am CEO of Everyday Woman Publishing. I'm so excited to have another amazing woman here today that will be sharing with us all the wonderful things she's doing as an entrepreneur. Welcome, Liselle.
Hi, Galit. Thank you so much for having me.
You're joining us from New York, right?
Yes, straight from Brooklyn.
Ooh, I love it. Oh my gosh, I haven't been in Brooklyn in a few years. I definitely need to go back. I was born in New York.
Oh, wow.
But
Cool.
I moved to the West Coast before I was 5, but I travel there often because I have so much family there.
Got
But
it.
a little bit of me still a New York girl because I go back so much. But
Yeah.
I'd love to share a little bit about your bio and what you're going to be talking about today. I'm so excited to share about your handbags. That's why they're behind you. Those are not collectors' handbags. Those are Liselle's handbags.
Yes.
So I'm excited to share about that too. So here we go. So Liselle Kiss, designer and founder of Liselle Kiss American Heirloom Handbags, is an award-winning American designer and artist known for redefining luxury through the lens of functional art. Based in New York, she's the founder of Liselle Kiss American Heirloom Handbags, a 100% Black-owned brand celebrated for its architectural precision and commitment to sustainable craftsmanship. Oh, I love that. The brand has a retail presence since her debut. Her collections have been featured in premier luxury retailers, including Bergdorf Goodman, Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, and Shop Up, which is so impressive, which is a whole nother story on its own, right? So today we're going to be talking about building your own luxury brand.
Yay.
Please share with us about how you did this and how those listening can build this, even if they're selling a product or their services.
Absolutely. It's all about positioning and really finding who your target audience is. The way I did it was right in the middle of the pandemic in 2020. I felt stuck having a physical product. How in the world am I going to show my physical product during the pandemic? So what I did, I hired a LinkedIn coach, and I decided to just find a way to do it virtually. And I found my target audience, which was I was targeting fashion executives, as well as people I felt like who could purchase my bags at the price that they were. And so I just connected on LinkedIn to the point where I was seen. Then someone rose their hand and said, "Hey, do you want to meet for lunch?" And that's kind of how I was able to get into the retailers. And I was doing social media content and posting, showing my bags, talk about my story, building myself up, let the media, the audience get to know who I am, so they felt, I guess, trustworthy. And even though I didn't see the person on the other side watching me, people were still watching me, and that's how I was able to get the opportunity.
Isn't it crazy how they're always watching? So the way that Liselle and I connected is I got a message through Instagram, and I was impressed with the personal touch of the message because I get a ton of messages and I don't respond. And I've never met Liselle. I wasn't even following her on social. And then she reached out to me or her team, it doesn't matter who. And I received a message that said, "I really love what you're doing. I could see you take ownership and pride in your purpose." And she connected it to the handbag. And I fell in love with her, and I didn't even meet her. And I said, "I need to have you on my show." And there isn't like a public invite to be on my show. The only way you're on my show is if I ask personally. So that in itself already showed me that you have that understanding of that personal, building those personal relationships. So talk a little bit more about that for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, especially the way that there's two ways to go about it in the fashion industry as well as like in business. One, you can go straight marketing and just kind of be a person that's kind of hard to reach.
Yes.
Or you can go straight. I like to say there's two lines of sales and marketing, or you go straight sales where you're just going to be talking, having conversations.
Yes.
You really can't make a sale unless you have a conversation with somebody. And also, there's different ways of doing sales too. There's the one that's very transactional, which is very cold. And then there's the one that's very warm and almost like you're talking to not a friend per se, but talking to someone that you actually care about, which is more of I like to say the doctor version of sales.
Yes.
And I think that it's all about the heart, right? So it's like if I decided to connect with anyone, I care about I care about connecting with them human to human, not because it's going to be like when I reached out to you, Galit, it was all about, hey, I want to let you know who I was, but at the same time, like, how do I connect your story to the bags that we have? And that actually doesn't matter. I actually really wanted just to meet you on Zoom and talk about
So
it.
that was very clear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm very fortunate to get brands that want to work with me or collaborate with me and either give me free products or pay me for my videos or whatever. What was great about you was it wasn't pushy, it wasn't salesy. It was, hey, by the way, I love everything you're doing, and we love creating these custom handbags for women like you.
Yes.
Would you like to learn more about them? And I said, absolutely. And then you shared more about them. And then I was very honest with you. I'm like, I'm not really a handbag person. And you were so respectful about that. And it was nothing pushy. But then I said, let's get you on a platform where you could share it, because I have so many listeners and people that watch that are so much so. So
yeah.
I would love if we transitioned a little, and then I want to get back to how to build your luxury brand, but I want you to talk a little bit about your company, how it came to fruition, what you actually create, because I think it's so unique.
Absolutely. So the way that my handbag started was really from a sustainable point of view as well as a dream. I worked in the fashion industry. I know there's a lot of waste making all these collections every season. And I was like, it's the least wasteful thing is a handbag. So I decided to focus in on handbags. I'm a graduate of Parsons. So after I graduated, I decided to launch my line. And then also what I felt like what was needed is that a handbag is not just like a device. It's not like, oh, look at me. It's more like a memory of like what you're carrying and like kind of like the cheerleader in the office. Like no matter what happens, like you have your bag with you. So with my company, one reason why I created the way I did is I just felt like there's so much entrepreneurs. I have an entrepreneurship degree from University of Central Florida, and entrepreneurs just don't have the time to really like reward themselves. Like they really don't. So that's one reason why we met, because I was like, I want to reach out to entrepreneurs. I want to reach out to the women that don't feel like they don't feel seen, but like they don't see themselves. And so I just really want to hear the stories and the conversations. And that's kind of how I pivoted my brand away from the stores. So like, mind you, I was in the stores for a couple of years. But I felt like doing a mass, mind you, I could say I was very close to being like Michael Kors, but I did not want to make my bags in China or Bangladesh. I was making my bags in Italy and New York. But I've had to scale, I had to go into those countries, and I just didn't feel as if I will be able to walk the factories, make sure that everyone's okay. I really believe in against, mistakenly, human trafficking in the fast fashion industry, like those things, good conditions. And if I can't walk the factory, if I can't see it, I'm not going to make it. So that's kind of like everything matters, like from the leather materials, like this is actually what you're seeing here is actually one of my masterpieces.
Oh,
so this is
Hold it up.
Yeah, this is a Zena bag.
It's gorgeous. Beautiful. And that's like the color. I've been wearing that nonstop the last few weeks. That I call it floral. I don't know if it is.
Yeah, it's like it's a tulip pink. So for instance, my aesthetic is very flower petals. I mix architectural strength, like the Spanish rooftop tile, which is what you're seeing here in one of these bags. Beautiful. But then I add flower pockets to the front here, so you can get the strength of the woman, the entrepreneur woman, the barrier. But we have the nice pockets that are really functional. You can actually stick something in to make it really feminine. I felt like for women, like we have to remember how strong we are, but also like soft. Absolutely. And that's what, before I make a bag, when I design, I literally think about you. I think about the woman. I'm like, what does she need in her life? And what do I have to create so she can remember that? Yes. So that's just how my whole process and aesthetic goes.
So how does the process go? Somebody says to you, I love your bags, I want one.
Absolutely. So the way that it would work is that I'm currently doing like a invite only. That's what you're getting, because my team really was looking for the right type of people, like invite only process. We are doing a way where someone could self-select. We don't want to totally isolate everyone. But let's say we do have a moment for that. We will do a one-on-one consultation for about 30 minutes and just really talk about, hear your story, really get to know you. We feel like bigger luxury brands, it's just really like you walk into a store, really feels cold. They're looking at you, you're looking at them. You want to touch something, you don't know if you should touch it. It's just so intimidating.
Yes.
Whereas like, my price point's the same like Chanel and Louis Vuitton. So like I want to make it opposite of that. Hey, what's your story? What's your name? I know your name. Hey, Gilly. Like let's be more down to earth and just have that experience. And also people who are very busy, I'm also thinking of ways, okay, if they don't have the 30 minutes to talk to me, how do I make it streamlined where they just like the brand and just go ahead and get it, you know?
Yes.
And then the bags are made one at a time per person, because I really believe that is the most special way to make a handbag for someone. So even if we have the same color, that bag is made for that person. So I'm from the bridal industry initially when I started about 13 years ago.
Mhm.
And I've noticed that the bridal industry is doing it properly. You know, you have this experience, you have a moment in your life, right? This one
Yes.
moment, and then it's made for you. And I'm like, this is how I want it to be. So it takes about 6 months for me to make the bag with my team of artisans in New York City, that we can say we're going to get your bag in 6 months. It could probably be sooner, but we want to make sure the 6 months promise, because anything can happen. The leather, if we have to create the color from scratch, the leather takes about 12 weeks to make as well. So it's just all these things that
I love that. I love that you're making it an experience. We both know that right now we're in a trust recession where people really want to trust people, because we get online and we don't know what's real anymore. I can't tell you how many times a day I say to my husband, is this real, babe? He's like, yeah, it's real. I go, are you sure? So one of the things that we're going back to, I don't want to say go back to, we've always been like that in Everyday Woman, is we want to jump on Zoom with you. We want to get to know you before you want to publish your book. We do networking events on Zoom because our women are all over the world, so we can't do it in person very often. And we've learned that people just want to hear you, right? This is a show. It's real people talking, and they're just trying to find it. So when you're doing this, you're building this trust with them, and they're saying there's a real person that really cares. Yes, I love handbags, but I don't have one this special. And so it's so neat because we know handbags can be kept for 100 years, right? They're not things we typically get rid of or give away, unless we give it away to someone we love. We've done that.
Only if you love them.
Yeah. Mom's given me, oh my God, Galit, you have to have this handbag. It's so pretty. And I'm done with it. Or she goes out of the country and buys me one, right? Moms are moms. But so let's go back to the luxury brand. You mentioned before we got on today that you were able to get on calls with some of these brands that don't even talk to people to put their handbags in their stores. Talk to me a little bit, because I think that can directly relate to anybody trying to get on the call with the right person or having somebody respond.
I think the most important thing I learned in my whole experience is being as direct as possible. So direct meaning that you directly are finding your target audience. Like, who is the end user? The reason why I got on LinkedIn, I was like, if I'm on LinkedIn posting, I will possibly get the attention of someone, possibly an executive who possibly will be able to introduce me to possibly the accounts, right? So everything was based on possibility, and that's what happened. I did what I was supposed to do, and I got reached out to by an executive. And that was the lineage that got me the introductions necessary. Not all the accounts. There was one account that I was able to get myself, which is Bergdorf Goodman. That was based on being in a designer's retreat, literally just a designer's retreat. And they're just, and when I was at Bergdorf, they were just like, any questions about Bergdorf? I raised my hand and I asked the direct questions. Really, this is the truth. I had this very bag in my hand. And I was speaking to Linda Fargo, who is this amazing woman in the industry. And she's like, any questions? I rose my hand, pointed this at Linda Fargo, and I said, I would like to be in Bergdorf. How do I get in? That was a question. It wasn't about the history. It wasn't like sidestepping. I asked the question, and then before she even answered me, she said, well, that's cute, which was this one. And then her associate next to her said, that's cute. And I was like, I got the approval, so, and then the associate handed me the business card and said, just get in touch with us. And I said, I'm not sure if I'm ready yet. He's like, you might be more ready than you think. because I didn't think the opportunity would happen so fast, but I will.
I know.
It was like, I was just like, how do I get in? And then I get
Yeah, but you know what we do, Liselle? We say yes, then we figure it out.
Yep.
That's what we do. Like women like you and me, I don't know how many times I've said yes, and only to things that make sense, align, benefit, right? I don't say yes to everything. That's not good when you're an entrepreneur. But if I know that opportunity matches me, even if I'm nervous and I'm not ready, I'll say yes, then I'll figure it out. You sound like you're like that too.
Yep. And that's how it happens.
I love it. I love it. So before we wrap up and you share a little bit about yourself and where people can learn more about you and connect with you, if you had somebody message you or call you or ask you, hey, Liselle, I have this idea, right? I'm really passionate about this product that I want to create. What would you tell me are the first 3 things I have to do?
The first 3 things. Number 1, create a survey.
Okay.
And the survey will be based on what your ideal client would want. So you have to create a survey, find the questions, go to ChatGPT, find out the best questions for the survey. That's very important. Then what you do is you do a test run, like a waiting list for it, build a product, but like make sure that the waiting list is there for people to want it. And the last thing is to market it. You have to really put yourself out 90 days in advance in marketing. I like this book called The 12-Week Year. So reading that book itself will give you the answer to marketing.
12-week year.
12-week year. Yeah.
You have to get that.
Yes. You consolidate a year's worth of content in 12 weeks. So the way I'm able to do it, I've done it before. In 3 months, I have a year's worth of content. And then if I double it every quarter, then I have like 5 to 10 pieces of content every day.
Amazing. Okay. I love that you gave that. So share with everybody where they can connect with you, follow you, find you, everything.
Yes, you can find me directly on lisellekiss.com. That's my name, LISELLEKISS.com. And you can also connect with me the same name, Liselle Kiss, on Instagram, YouTube, and definitely connect with me on LinkedIn. Tell me that you found me on the Successful Women's TV show.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. I appreciate you so much sharing with us your journey. Remind me how long you've been in business?
We've been in business for 7 years.
7 years. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. I love that. So new, but so successful. Congratulations on your success. I can't wait to keep watching you and your journey. I'm so glad we're connected now. And I appreciate you. And I appreciate everybody watching and listening to the Successful Women's TV show. My name is Galit Ventura Rosen, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.